All right, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Pnelly Podcast, episode 7. We got an action-packed episode for you guys. Lots of stuff to catch you guys up on since the last episode. We got Lakers game. I'm going to talk about that. Viral videos, NBA, UFC 287, NHL, and whatever else fits in between. So the Pnelly Podcast, episode 7 is underway. Cue the theme music. All right, welcome back, everyone. Pnelly Podcast, episode 7. This is probably like my fourth take, if I'm being honest with you guys, because every time this camera has not recorded. I don't know if there's something wrong with the record button, but I had to press it really hard, and I don't know, it sucks because I was flowing on this last take. But you know what? We got it now. It's recording. I'm recording on my phone, so we're firing on all the cylinders. It's Thursday. This weekend's Easter, so that's all exciting times. But wanted to get into some of the Lakers. Kind of want to talk about the Lakers game that I went to, the Lakers Timberwolves game. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the vlog is up on my channel. It took me a long time to turn it around just because I've been busy with editing. Lots of school stuff, job interviews and everything like that. It's just been hectic, but nevertheless, we're moving on. We're moving along. So, Lakers game was insane from the moment I left my house. It was just downpouring. You could barely see on the road, and I was like, wow, And the reason why I want to talk about this, because it honestly kind of plays an impact on the night. But driving down there was hectic. We made it, though. Was walking in the building. My mom calls, and she goes, listen, it's going to start snowing later, whatnot. Like, I know you're downtown. Just, be careful. And I was like, what do you mean it's going to start snowing? She goes, have you seen the weather? Personally, guys, I don't watch the weather. I'm sorry. I'll look at it on my phone here and there, but the amount of times it's been right and it's been wrong, I just am more of a I'll believe it when I see it kind of guy. Maybe I'll just look at the day of, but I don't look at it. I've been shafted multiple times by the weather app a lot, by planning days and stuff, and then getting stuck in the snow and not getting stuck in the snow and just whatever. So I didn't really look at the weather, but I was like, regardless if it's Hurricane Irma outside, I'm going to see LeBron. I'm going to go cover LeBron because I don't know how many more times I'll be able to cover him. So, walked in there, walked in the arena. I was like, whatever. Because when I'm in there, I don't really see I don't see anything outside because I'm not really walking around the concourse area. And on my laptop and on my phone, I'm either editing or I'm posting or I'm looking at notifications, checking Twitter in case maybe a player goes down or something like that, trying to look out for updates. So I don't know what's going on outside. But nevertheless, we got there. Colin and I, we met up, got our drinks, whatever, set up our stuff, and we were waiting for the shoot around. So for those of you guys who don't know, for NBA, the players do a shoot around, then they do their warm up, which is right before the game. So the shoot around, usually there's barely anyone there for that. Fans aren't allowed in at that time yet. Media is either not there or they're doing something else. I know that Chris Finch does a little press conference before. So I was like, bet, I'm going to have this all to myself pretty much. Going to go get some great shots of LeBron, whatever. He ended up not coming out, but I did get some cool shots of Austin Reeves. He drained 5 threes in a row. I was pretty insane. Got to get some cool shots of D'Lo as well. Felt weird seeing him in the Lakers uniform. Bittersweet because I'm sure he's probably happy down there in LA, especially with the weather. But it was cool to see him again. And then Colin and I, they went in. The Lakers went in. Colin and I went into we went into the media room again, grubbed up a little bit more, and then we went back out and we were waiting on the Lakers side for 15-20 minutes for the actual warm-ups, because when they're in town, you gotta get your spot. There's gonna be people, there's fans, whatever, and it's all understandable. I just wanted to make sure I got there early to get some good content, because I know that in the past, Lakers content and LeBron content has done really well for me, and honestly, if it probably wasn't for some of those videos, I wouldn't be where I am now. So, even as a Wolves fan, I had to make sure to take advantage of the opportunity I had. So Lakers came out to warm up. Super fun, super crazy. Colin and I were right in the front. We were standing right under the hoop to the right, and it was insane. LeBron almost ran into us, as I'm sure maybe some of you guys have seen. It was AD threw up a little lob, and he almost did this insane dunk, which would have been great if he would have made it, but it just barely missed, and he came down and he ran right past it. He was I don't know how he didn't run into us, because we were pushing it. We were a little close to the court, but we weren't too close. We were where we were supposed to be. The security guards were right there, so they didn't tell us to back up or nothing. So, but it was insane seeing him up close, because like 2 days prior I see him on, live TV, or I'll see him on my Twitter or Instagram, and that goes for a lot of players, but LeBron especially, because after watching The Last Dance and me being like, man, I wonder what it been like this. I wonder what it would have been like to see Jordan in his prime. Me being like, I wish I could see that. Obviously, I wasn't born at that time. Every time I see LeBron now, I think I'm literally watching like someone's Last Dance documentary. Like I'm seeing it happen before my eyes, pretty much. And so it was crazy to see him super close. You can just tell he's an athlete, man. I mean, obviously these guys in the NBA, they're no joke, but you can just tell every little movement LeBron does, just quick. Anytime he's catching a pass or whatever stuff you wouldn't really realize on TV, it's insane. He just moves just quick, turns his head quick, shoots the ball quick, whatever. So it was just pretty crazy. You kind of can get more of an understanding of why he's considered the best ever. But that was super cool. Got warm-ups. The intro was pretty electric as well. That's up on my YouTube. It's in the vlog. And then Colin and I headed up to the media suite for the first half, because that's where we were seated. My phone was getting low on battery at that time, which kind of sucked. So I had to charge my phone. Got a little bit of footage from up there. And then luckily, our good friends Tony and Paul, or Wally and Paul, they were kind enough to let us take their seats down low for the media, like in the corner. So Colin and I got to sit down low. I got some good footage down there, and we got to see LeBron up close. We got to see AD and Kat battle it out. And honestly, unpopular opinion, but I think Jaden McDaniels and LeBron James, that might be one of the most entertaining matches or matchups to watch in the NBA, at least for myself. Maybe it's a little biased, but J-Mac was locking him down, but LeBron did have to show him what's up a couple times, so it was pretty fun to watch there. Ultimately, the Wolves lost, obviously. It was a tough loss. Some calls didn't go our way, but AD, even though he had his little ankle sprain, he went crazy. I think he had I want to say 38 points, but I might be off on that. But it was a good game. It was basically a playoff game, as Vando said in the last or in the press conference. He was like, "Listen, this is basically a playoff game, because we're not only facing this team, but we're facing them in the standings as well. So we had to make sure we came out swinging." That's what the Lakers did. After the game, we went back for our post-game pizza, chatted a little bit, and then we went and saw Jared Vanderbilt talk. And after that, we were waiting, because they said D'Lo was going to come and talk, but he didn't, unfortunately, because the Lakers had to get out of there. It was, like I said before, hectic outside. It had started snowing. The roads were covered in ice, so it went from rain to ice to snow, and I was worried about myself getting home. Long story short, the drive home was horrible. I won't weigh up on it too much, because I'm not this isn't a weather channel, but the drive home was insane. We barely made it. We had to skip a couple exits because it just wasn't plowed, and the car wasn't going to make it through. But we made it home, and the video started popping off when I got home, so I was up late, kind of watching that. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Bleacher Report, Overtime, Hoop Mix Only, I'm sure there was maybe a couple other places I didn't catch, posted the LeBron playoff mode video is the best one. That one got reposted a ton. And it still is. It's still doing crazy. And, that's happy. It makes me happy, obviously, growing the brand, trying to, give you guys a inside look at what I get to see as a media person. And, just for all the basketball fans and everything, just want to give you guys just the inside scoop. So that was a cool video that went off. A couple other ones did pretty well. And, unfortunately, the Wolves didn't get the win. But, I think that they're in the play. I believe they're in the play-in spot. I hear something different every day. I hear, oh, they're out. Oh, they're in the play-in. Oh, they're in the playoffs. And it's just, I don't know. I would read you guys off all the stats and all the standings and whatnot. But honestly, it changes so much. And I am still trying to learn how to, really know what I'm reading. And I don't want to sound like an idiot to you guys. So, but all I know is that the Thunder are at number 10, Wolves are at number 9, Pelicans are at 8, and Lakers are at 7. So basically, it's going to be between those four teams. The Mavs might creep in. So, who knows? The Wolves have a couple more games left this season. They have a game this Sunday, on Easter Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to tap into that one or not, guys. I would like to, but, it's been a hectic couple of weeks. I know I'm going to the Twins, though. I am going to the Twins on Saturday, so I will vlog that content, obviously, from that. Going to get there early. I'm going to try to establish a routine for these Twins games because I am covering the Twins all year long. And, I have my routine with the Wolves. I know what I'm getting into when I walk in there. I know where to go. I know where to stand for the best shots, whatever. For the Twins, I have no clue. I covered them last year, but I never bothered to get there early to get any good shots. I wasn't vlogging last year. So give me a couple games, and I'll have it down. But I'm for sure this Saturday, my first game back, we're gonna vlog that one. We're gonna get a lot of good stuff. So, but it might the routine might be different. Every other game just until I get a good established routine down. But as I was saying before, it's been a hectic couple of weeks, going to games, and I know it's gonna amp up even more. You know what? That's okay. We're here for it, but I want to enjoy the downtime, spend some time with family, But maybe I change my mind if Zion decides he wants to play on Sunday, and you know what? Pnelly Media might decide he wants to go and get some footage on Sunday as well. But like I said, we've had school, we've had job interviews, we've just had other stuff coming up. So it's going to be nice to just have a little bit of downtime, but I'm still going to be editing, still going to be uploading TikToks, and like I said, going to the Twins. So that'll be fun. And I mean, honestly, may as well just segue into the Twins, I believe. I'm going to look up their record. Should have this looked up beforehand, but they're off to a hot start. They're making me eat my words. So far, every single take that I've had on this podcast has just been horrible. UFC and now the Twins. I mean, it's very early in the season, obviously, but they're doing well. I want to see what the record is here. The Twins have 4 wins and 2 losses, and they are second behind the 5-2 Guardians. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm happy to see they're winning, but like I said, I still kind of stand by what I said earlier, a couple of episodes ago, that it's just hard. It's hard to be excited as a Twins fan, believe it when I see it kind of guy, and that goes for every single Minnesota team, not just the Twins. But it's exciting that they're at least off to a good start, because these are the games that count and probably get a little underlooked at probably now and then the middle of the season, but then at the end of the season, each team's trying to win. But I'm excited to get back in the target field. I don't know what the weather's going to be on Saturday. I've heard super nice, I've heard mediocre, I've heard cold, so I'm not even going to bother looking. We're just going to adapt whatever it is. Like I said, going to vlog. Colin might come to that as well. But I'm going to see what I believe I can get onto the field, and I can get good batting practice highlights and whatnot. I believe I get locker room access. I don't think I can have my phone in there or have the camera out, but I probably can have memos open. So, I could try to get some post-game sound. But I'm excited this weekend. It's still going to be an action-packed weekend, even though I was just talking about laying low. It still will be action-packed because we have UFC 287 as well. And, guys, I messed up. I'm sorry. I thought it was last weekend. I had a little birdie tell me that it was last weekend, so I was like, yeah, that's my last podcast. We were giving our predictions, and then Saturday night, we had our this thing called Mom Prom. All the seniors at our school, we bring our moms to a prom. We were hanging out, whatever, and I was I looked up UFC results, and I was like, oh, the fights were tonight, because I was gonna miss them, unfortunately, and I'm like, well, where's the results? And I saw it said next week, and I immediately thought about the podcast, and I was like, damn, I really was talking like it was this weekend when it wasn't. But UFC 287 legit this weekend, this upcoming weekend, this Saturday. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. I'll give you guys another one of or some more predictions or whatever, just real quick. We'll run through them. I think Pereira is going to win against Adesanya, and I think Gilbert Burns is going to win against Jorge Masvidal. As far as Rob Font and Adrian Yanez, I don't know who they are, so it's a little tough. And same thing with, I know who Kevin Holland is, but I don't know who he's facing. I just don't want to give some stupid prediction. But I want it's weird because who I think's gonna win is Alex Pereira and Gilbert Burns, but I want Israel Adesanya and I want Jorge Masvidal, just because it's always fun when Jorge's in the mix of things. And I mean, he still is, but if he loses this one, it's gonna be hard to really keep him in the mix. He lost to 2 great competitors, Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. But Gilbert Burns is no joke, man. I saw some highlights of him training, and I was just like, wow. And same with Pereira, man. Pereira is insane, but so is Izzy. I like Izzy. That's someone who I generally like to watch and go out of my way to watch highlights of or whatever, because he's just so loose and just does his thing. He's not super technical, I feel like, and I don't know. I love watching it. It's gonna be a great fight. I plan on actually watching it, because sometimes I won't have time, or I'll just like peek at highlights or just peek at certain fights. But it's gonna be excited. I saw that Jorge Masvidal and Kevin Holland, I believe, were beefing a little bit, and that's always entertaining. Jorge always seems to find his way into some backstage beef, whether it be him finding himself into it, or maybe someone else bringing themselves to Jorge. But it seems like he always finds a way to make some stuff entertaining leading up to fight week. But it's going to be some great fights. Overall, I'm excited. Trying to get back into it more, where I know some of these younger fighters. I know Rahul Rosa Jr. is going to fight. Don't know who he's fighting, but it looks like the guy's 8-1 and Rahul's 7-0. I mean, I'm not really an analytics guy, but when you're trying to build someone up, you put them against crappier talent. And the UFC isn't notoriously known to do that as much as boxing, but I mean, they've been trying to build this guy up for a little while, rightfully so. Youngest UFC fighter ever, and so I'm sure he'll probably take that win. But as far as Kevin Holland and Santiago, I don't even know how to say that last name. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher it. I don't know. It's hard. I guess maybe Kevin Holland. Like I said, guys, I don't know those two, so we're gonna keep it at that. But yeah, UFC 287 gonna be fun, and I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a good watch. Moving on, NHL, the Minnesota Wild, they clinched their playoff ticket the other day, which excites me a lot. We're repping the North Stars sweatshirt today. Shout out to the people in the Minnesota Wild group chat. I've been getting lots of love in that group chat. Posted a picture of Kirill Kaprizov and I at the Timberwolves game. He was nice enough to take time to take a selfie with me, and that got a lot of likes and stuff like that. So shout out to you guys. Pretty cool. They always like some of the stuff I post in there. But I will be covering all the Minnesota Wild playoffs games that I can go to. So as long as I have night classes 2 days out of the week. So as long as they're not on those days that I have night classes, I am there. Or maybe, unless if they conflict with the Wolves games, which I don't think they will. But I am there. Any home game, I should say. I'm not going to be going to the away games. But I am there. Excited. I haven't been to I used to go to the playoff games all the time back in the day. That kind of stopped a few years ago. But, man, they are fun. I don't know what's more fun. The Wolves ones are up there, but man, nothing beats NHL playoffs with the towels. Music's cranked. The fans are there's just extra energy, especially because it's the state of hockey here. But I don't know. The standings aren't out yet, but I'm excited. I'm excited to cover those. I will vlog those as well. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to vlog. I've never vlogged hockey, and I try to get there early, but every time, traffic just getting into St. Paul and getting into the ramp and everything is just insane. It always takes us super long. Then by the time we get there, we need to eat, and then I like to go up to the press box and get settled in and whatnot. But I will try to get as much as I can, just unique content. They don't allow phones down or allow cameras in the locker room or in the press conference room, so I can't really get stuff. I can't push my limit too far there, obviously, but I can try to get some warm-ups. Kind of show you guys what the press box looks like, what we get fed, the whole 9 yards. But I don't know who the Wild are going to face. I don't know what, I'm trying to think of who they would, go against. Maybe the Knights. Looks like the Kings and Oilers are in the mix. So, I don't know. It's going to be exciting, though. I do have a hunch. I was talking with my good friend Josh DeLang yesterday, and we were talking about the Wild. And I have a hunch. I think the Wild Western Conference Finals this year. I'm calling it. I don't want to go as far as saying Stanley Cup, because I don't predict that for Minnesota teams, because it's just the heartbreak I've endured in the past. And I'm not saying they can't do it this year. I'm just saying I like to predict, smaller steps. So I'm thinking Western Conference Finals. I think the Wild make a run. I think their days of going to the NHL playoffs and losing in the first round or losing in the second round or whatever are over. I think those days, the 2014, 15, 16 days, those days are over. I think the Wild, it's a different Wild team. Boldy's playing out of his mind. Fleury's been playing well. I apologize. I don't know that many other players on the team, but I know that Kirill's going to be back as well. So that's going to be big. We got Ryan Reeves, who's just out there just letting people know not to mess with him or the Wild. Same with Dumba. Love him or hate him. So I'm excited. I will be there. I will post as much as I can, give you guys as much inside information and updates as I can. Super excited. I'm also going to grab a ton of towels too as well. Try to give those away here at school and just, wherever I go. So super excited for that, for the millionth time. But yeah, Twins opener as well too. That's tomorrow. Kind of already touched on the Twins, but it was just next on my list. Twins opener tomorrow. They got moved. I wanted to go. I had a job interview though. Excited for that. But I can't make it to the home opener tomorrow, but I will be there on Saturday. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. Maybe a little collaboration with someone too coming up, so that'll be exciting. But I'm going to keep trying to post a lot of vlogs for you guys. Keep up with the content. Also, the podcast. Want to give you guys an update on where we are with that. I'm ordering some equipment today. I'm just doing my research because I don't have a big budget for podcast equipment, but I want to have something that looks semi-professional and sounds good as well, because I don't want to have some BS mics and whatnot. But I'm doing my research. I'm gonna buy something today just because I'm sick of the phone setup and whatever, and I want to get some people on. Like I said, I got some guests lined up. Obviously, one of them being my dad. I talked to Travis, aka Sneaker Reporter. He's been a couple of the vlogs. He wants to come on. I have a couple NBA photographers that said that they'd be willing to come on. And I want to have the podcast equipment be mobile. I want to go to them so they don't have to come to me, because I don't live anywhere close to them as of now. So it's only right if I go to them or if I can do it on site. So tons of exciting stuff coming up. Like I said, I'm going to lock it in today. Going to do my research, but I wanted to get a podcast out for you guys. A little shorter episode, solo episode, but it's always fun to do these and, continue to practice being in front of the camera, getting them up, because as you guys know, technology is not on my side. I had to do this I'm going to say 3 other times before the camera I realized it was actually recording. So, but we got the podcast setups looking good. As far as that, I think that concludes the Pnelly Podcast episode 7. We're keeping it short. We're keeping it sweet. Pnelly Podcast episode 7. Everyone have a great Easter. Spend time with family. Relax. Do what you need to do to just, enjoy the weekend. And yeah, Pnelly Podcast episode 7. We're done. Horses don't stop. They keep going.